Welcome back. Back with us this morning to take us through the newspapers, the entrepreneur Kate Hardcastle and the rapper Zuby. Welcome back to you. This is your final outing this morning, so make it good.
We're going to go write some rap music after this.
Let's
Yorkshire style.
I'd like to hear that. Maybe we can get that on Twitter.
No,
We'll
no
record
worries.
some in the
I'll just stay. I'll let you know.
Let's kick off with the Mirror and Huawei, the company on everybody's lips, well, the ructions it's caused between America and the US.
Yeah, sure. So US Vice President Mike Pence and Trump himself have stated that the UK wanting to grant Huawei access to the 5G network here in the UK could potentially cause some issues with the UK and US's trade deals, which are being negotiated. So America, alongside Australia and New Zealand, in fact, have all considered that Huawei is a potential threat because of their links to the Chinese governments and potential issues around surveillance and things like that. I think that this is one of those situations where I think there's sort of two elements of truth. I think there's the element of truth, which is that the US and some other Western countries obviously deem China and its economy and some of its companies there a threat. And there is also the fact that Chinese companies, including Huawei, do have very close ties to the Chinese government, which is known for having some levels of increasing surveillance around its own citizens and things like that. So both of those things, I think, can be true. So in terms of what was actually said, he stated, "We just don't believe that utilizing the assets and technologies of Huawei is consistent with the security or privacy interests of the UK or the US." And it seems that Mr. President Trump is not super duper happy about this either. So
apparently he was furious.
Apparently he was
apoplectic.
Yeah,
with the rage.
so apoplectic is the word that they use. Great word. So apparently in his phone call with Boris Johnson, that this was brought up. So we will see where that goes. But it's an ongoing issue. It's been going on for a while now.
Kate, you've picked out a story in the Telegraph. Apparently a class system has been created amongst students in a school.
That's a suggestion. I mean, there's a greater point here, which is I really do get concerned about the pressure on parents for costs of the children attending all of the different elements that schools can provide. It's a balancing point of schools wanting to have activities, to do trips, to have special events at the school, but there seems to be a constant pressure on parents to provide. So this school has created a menu, if you like, of options. I think the worst being brought out to prove the point in media. So they're saying the children and families that can afford very little, for £1 you can go to visit a local allotment and do some weed clearing. But if you can afford £30 for a trip, hey, presto, you get to go to the zoos and the theme parks. There is this challenge between making sure that children get out, enjoy the great outdoors, physical activity. I want to see more of that in schools, balanced with this pressure. I don't think children need to go to theme parks as part of a school trip. I just don't think that should be on the option. They tend to be some of the more expensive ones. I think we live in a brilliant place. There's lots to do, and there's lots of things that children can get involved with that actually might help create and build communities a little bit more. So how about, rather than just looking at a menu of options and good luck if you can enjoy the finest, because certainly when I was a kid I couldn't, maybe we actually create an activity where we're linking in our schools back to the community. I know a lot do that already, and instead of it costing money, we can actually do some good altogether. Just an idea.
It's a very good idea.
Thanks, Gillian.
Very worthwhile idea. Let's move on to the storm we've been hearing about.
Yeah.
Kirsty this morning, just seeing the beginnings of it today, but tomorrow's going to be a
Yeah,
good day
sure.
for Kira.
So the weather's pretty clear right now here in the UK. This is more like a weather report, really. But there's this storm Kiara is expected to hit the UK this weekend. So they're predicting starting from tonight, going into tomorrow with wind speeds of up to 80 miles per hour in some coastal areas. So anyone who is planning to...
You do sound like a weather reporter. That was really formal.
You've got the job.
Do you want the thing behind you to do the pointing?
I'll add it to the list of current jobs. So anyone who's traveling on Sunday, then it's something to be aware of. I know that certain trains, public transport, getting cancelled.
I need to get a train tomorrow, and I've been told that's it. The ones we're operating at half speed. And I appreciate safety first and everything, but a bit of crystal ball to be able to know exactly which trains are going to need to be cancelled. Then it's chaos, isn't it?
Yeah, but everyone should take care.
Take care, of course. Safety first.
Stay indoors if you can. We're going to look at the FTSE 100 and women in the boardroom. This is right up your street,
It's
isn't it?
interesting to me, isn't it, I suppose, because I do want to see diversity in organisations, and I'll tell you why. My absolute output is better organisations, and if they need to make profit, more profits because your customers are happy.
We're going to have to leave it there.
Oh, OK,
We've
no
run out
problem.
of time.
I was
So
just going to
sorry.
say,
Good to
diverse
see
boards
you
will do
both.
that. Thank you.
Coming up, stay with us.